So this video marks Devlog 1. It is basically what is VAULTLINE. VAULTLINE is an original universe and TTRPG in development. The reason I am building it is because it's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to create a game. I've always wanted to pursue a passion regarding gaming. And it's never really come to my mind as to how it can be done. I've never really thought about a way of implementing the things that I've wanted into a game until recently. I've always made notes about a world I've wanted to create, and it's finally like taking shape in a way that I never expected into a TTRPG format. It's probably the best way to do it. Originally, I was going to do a trading card game, but I decided to take a step back from that and do a TTRPG, and that seems like an easier path than the TCG. I do like both, so it's kind of funny how things work out sometimes. I'm building it because it kind of scratches the itch that I never got. So one thing that I really like about I don't know. So if you're watching, welcome. This is If you're watching this, welcome. This is Devlog 1 of VAULTLINE. VAULTLINE is an original universe and TTRPG that I have been working on for the past few months. Why I am building it is because it's kind of personal. I've always wanted to create a game, and I never really ever thought about a way of doing it. I never, prioritized it. I always wrote notes and implemented things in other games. Modding was really big. I was like, okay, I want this because this is the world I've always wanted. And I always would shape things to the way that I wanted. But it never really scratched the itch. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to combine or three or four of my favorite things. The reason I'm saying so many things is because it really does take a lot. And it's blending these things to almost seamlessly is definitely a challenge. Because, dark fantasy is what it is, and then cyberpunk are two different genres. And you have to think about the systems that can make that cohesive so that it blends well. And one of the things that I really wanted to do and I felt like was missing in a lot of things was identity and how it carries over into games. Yes, there are a lot of ways that can kind of help you really feel the character and personify that person, if that's the correct term, and play as them. But I wanted to create systems and just ways that make you really feel like you're stepping in that world as that person. So as I'm developing this TTRPG, I want the player to really feel like they are playing as that person. And the system that I came up with was the sins, seven sins, and how they take shape and develop through your identity. And you as a person can latch on to a specific sin because you identify as that. And sin isn't necessarily a good or bad thing in this world. It's just an identifier for certain types of personalities. The next thing would be expectations that I'd want to set is that this game is definitely a lot of it. The world, the lore, it's changing. Things will change. I'm going to be uncertain about things, and I might not know where to take it. Some things I don't have an answer to. I have to write it down and come back to it. It's just how the creative process is. And then long builds. There's no release date. At some point, I would definitely like to go into an alpha where I can have testers or just test it myself and then take it to people and hear the feedback just based on it plays, because I know that at some point I'm going to need that and hear feedback. So that's just the idea of VAULTLINE, and there are definitely going to be more things to focus on, but identity and becoming that character is huge. And that is basically the main mechanic within that game.